So today we're going to be talking about one of our favorite types of fruit. That's up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and today we're going to be talking about another type of fruit that we'll be planting on the new property. What you see around me here would be our brown turkey figs. Now, I really can't do a series on our go-to varieties without talking about figs. You know, figs are a type of fruit that grow with fierce productivity here in the Arizona area, especially certain varieties. So what we want to do is we want to talk a little bit about our two main focuses when it comes to choosing types of fruit that we're planting here in Arizona, and then of course look at specific varieties. We're going to break down figs today. So first, our two prime directives as far as how we choose the type of fruit. So first thing as a reminder would be productivity. We're always looking at types of fruit that are going to give us nice, heavy productivity. Second thing would be kind of ease of use. So how easy are they to take care of? We want something that's fairly easy to take care of, so it doesn't require a lot of input by us. So when it comes to figs, they fit those two very, very nicely. Figs are a Mediterranean, Middle Eastern type of fruit. So that's where they're really from. When you're looking at our climate here in Arizona, it's very, very similar to the Middle East. And hello to all of our viewers there in the Middle East. I know we got a lot of you out there that follow us here, and you know as well as I do that figs do amazing in this climate. We have not found a fig variety yet that does not do well here. So as far as productivity and the trees themselves, they grow well and they don't require a lot of input from us. So number two prime directive is kind of a no-brainer with figs. They don't require a whole lot in order for them to survive. The next thing, of course, would be productivity. So one thing we have found with the multiple fig varieties that we're growing here on the farm is we do have a pretty big variation as far as productivity. So let's talk a little bit about the different varieties that we have going on now, and then we'll wrap up with key varieties for us here in the Arizona area that we know are going to be on that new farm and that will do well for you as well. So I'm going to start off with the two trees that you guys have seen the most. These would be our two brown turkey figs. If Lori pans around while I'm yakking, you'll see just how wonderful these trees are doing, even here in September when they're in between their growth stages of their spring breba crop and then of course their main crop, which would be fall. The trees just do fantastic. We have them pruned nice and low. The productivity, we've gotten buckets and buckets of fruit off of these two trees. You know, I should mention the reason why we have two brown turkey fig trees here planted next to each other, and the only reason, is we had one of these mislabeled from Home Depot. So call out to Home Depot, label your trees better. So we have a brown turkey on both sides of me here. Our goal was to have a brown turkey fig here and a mission fig here. Unfortunately, we wound up with two brown turkey figs, but fortunately, they've given us a tremendous amount of production. So brown turkey figs, a very, very good variety, does really well for us here. The next variety that you see around me here would be our Peter's Honey Fig. So the Peter's Honey Fig, a very aggressive grower. It puts on a lot of fruit. I mean, this thing overloads with fruit on top of fruit. So one of the things that we found with this variety is item number one, productivity. While it does put on a lot of fruit, this tree at about 2 years old now has only given us a handful of ripe fruit. At this point, the brown turkey was giving us dozens of ripe fruit. This one's only given us maybe a dozen. So this tree, a little bit of a struggle as far as number one. Definitely hits number two, so it's very, very easy as far as taking care of the tree. It needs very little. However, productivity is kind of a challenge. So next variety would be our Panache Fig or Tiger Stripe Fig. This fig variety is a very yummy fig variety. It tastes amazing. It reminds me of strawberry jam, just a wonderful tasting fruit. It's nice because the bulk of the crop actually comes in the fall as opposed to our brown turkey, which is in the spring. Just a wonderful red fleshed fruit, very, very sweet fruit. The tree itself, it grows more vertical as opposed to real wide like you saw with our brown turkeys. So if you had a smaller space, this would fit in a smaller space really well. Beautiful looking tree, by the way, and the fruit's beautiful with those stripes on it, but a very good productive tree, so it does do very good young production, also very easy to maintain. Because of its vertical growth, it's going to fit in a smaller area, so a wonderful tree there. I think it's a great mix of a unique type of fruit. The growth pattern, especially have a smaller space, you could fit a couple of these back there, or a couple varieties that are similar. So if you're dealing with a smaller space, would be a good one for you as well. So definitely takes care of production. It's very easy to take care of, and man, the fruit tastes amazing. So next variety would be the Kadota. So the Kadota Fig, this one is very similar to the Peter's Honey Fig as far as some of the challenges that we found. You can see the tree itself, it does have a tendency to grow a bit wide as opposed to the Panache, so you're gonna need a little bit more space. It's another tree that's very productive. It has fruit on it now. Our other fig varieties for the most part don't, but it's constantly trying to fruit. So it's a beautiful tree. It looks wonderful in my opinion. The fruit itself is very, very productive. However, much like the Peter's Honey Fig, we've only gotten a handful of ripe fruit, and even then I would kind of put quotes on that, ripe. For the most part, we haven't gotten any good tasting fruit off of this. Now I know Kadota figs can taste really well. I've seen reviews on them that say they do. However, that hasn't been our experience here with the Kadota that we have. So as far as the tree productivity, yes, it puts on fruit. Ease of care, yes, like all of the fig trees, very easy to take care of. However, fruit quality so far hasn't been there. Next variety up, and actually our last variety for today, would be the Blackjack Fig. You'll see that behind me here. You know, I'll tell you what, one of the things about our Blackjack Figs, the Blackjack Figs are essentially the same as a brown turkey fig. So the fig itself tastes almost identical to that fig. However, the tree itself has a different growth habit. So this tree is actually very compact. You can see here the tree behind me, this is it. I mean, we have done some pruning, but not real heavy. So very easy to keep this tree in a smaller space. We don't get as much production off of this tree as we do the brown turkeys. So the brown turkeys by far outperform this tree. However, fruit quality is the same, very good fruit quality. So you definitely have that. Ease of care is very, very easy. And much like the Panache, and even more so than the Panache, this fig is probably one of those figs that you could attempt in a pot. It would still need to be a pretty large pot. You can see it still gets pretty big. However, the overall tree size at almost 3 years at this point is much, much more compact. So I think it's for those of you out there that have a smaller space, don't have as much growing space available to you, this would definitely be a good variety for you. Okay, so before I go any further, I really need to bring this up because one of the things that Lori and I have attempted to do here over the last year is we've tried to replicate some of the trees that we have here on the farm and truly take them with us. So of course, we're not going to be digging up a whole bunch of trees and trying to transplant. That's not going to happen. We want to bless the new owners of this property with all the trees that are currently in place. They're all going to stay. However, we've really been focused on trying to do either air layering or grow from cuttings, and two varieties or two types of fruit in particular have done really, really well for us. One of those would be figs. So we actually have all of the fig varieties that you just saw. All of them are actually started in pots back here. We'll actually be bringing our own figs with us. So truly, the fig varieties we're covering today, we already have. So we've got a few we're gonna still add to that mix. However, everything that we have here on this farm, we are literally going to be able to bring with us because we were able to start them ourselves. Let's talk a little bit about some varieties that we're definitely taking with us and varieties we're going to be adding when it comes to figs. So we really do love fig trees. They are just an amazing tree. There's amazing history with figs in general as far as ancient history is concerned. So it's just a fascinating variety to me. I know that for a lot of our videos that we've done on figs, there's a lot of interest in figs because they're just so unique. And again, that history is amazing. So a few things that we know we're going to be taking with us. Brown turkey figs, absolutely hands down in our experience has been the most productive tree, and they are very easy to take care of. So they definitely hit number 1 and number 2 prime objectives for us. Brown turkey figs is a go-to fig. We do not have a black mission. I wish we did because I know that black missions do very, very well also. That will be one that we'll be adding to the mix. We'll be getting that from Reed. So he'll be growing one of those for us. So we'll definitely add a black mission fig. And in my opinion, if you were gonna put 1 or 2 figs in the ground here in the Arizona area and you've got enough space, the brown turkey figs and or the mission figs would be be really your go-to as far as figs are concerned. Followed up on that one, honestly, I would probably go with the Panache. Again, number 1 and number 2 prime objectives. It hits very productive. It's very easy to take care of. Also very easy to replicate like all other figs. But that is definitely our second or third, if you want to consider it that way, fig varieties. And then for the most part, the others would probably fall into play behind that. The blackjack fig is a good productive tree, fits in a smaller space, so that would be a good option as far as that's concerned. And then of course the Kadota and the Peter's honey, I think for us, the jury's still out on those two. We are going to take them and plant them. However, so far haven't really done what we've wanted them to do. We're still going to give them a shot. And then of course we are going to be trying other varieties because again, figs are just fascinating to me. There's so many varieties in so many different sizes, you know, that can be grown just about everywhere. I know like a Chicago hardy fig, it's named that way on purpose. It's a very, very cold hardy fig. Don't think we're going to be adding that here. However, the Violet de Bordeaux is definitely one that I want to try. Again, another smaller fig variety. So we will be adding additional fig varieties because I love the trees. Again, love the history. Just an amazing, amazing fruit that does very, very well for us here in the Arizona desert. So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Questions or comments, leave those in the comment section down below. Instagram and Facebook, we post content there you won't see here on the YouTube channel. And our Amazon shop, I'll leave a link down in the description. That is a free, painless way to help support the channel. If you start your Amazon shopping with that link, it doesn't matter what you buy, you help to support us here. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. So now, that did not sound good. Sometimes it takes me a few minutes in the morning.